Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Janet Fields with us. Janet is a property management pro from Oak Trust Properties. I'm super excited to have her here because property management is the name of the game when it comes to getting a good return from your property. So Janet, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Thank you for having me, Gabe. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I told you before we hopped on here, we like stories. We want to hear how you got into this. So why don't you take us to the beginning? How'd you get started in real estate?
So real estate is a family business. My dad started buying and selling in Charleston about 30 years ago when he came here with the military. He really enjoyed moving from station to station because that involved buying and selling. Eventually, my mom said, hey, this is where we're going to put down roots. No more buying and selling. We're staying here. And he said, oh, I can find a way around that. I'll just buy and sell property and manage it for other people. And it's great. So he did that. Eventually, he started his own property management company, decided that those the month over month returns was amazing. And, instead of driving and showing properties and not getting anything, no sales. Eventually, I bought my first property in 2008. For my own home. And
was
then,
that before or after the peak? I have to ask.
Oh my God. It was the month before it crashed. The month before. Yeah, in a brand new neighborhood. So people next door, they're like no longer getting the standards that I'm getting, but also they're getting way better rates. So yeah, it was pretty awful. So I bought my first book of business in 2014. And then in 2018, my father and we merged our businesses. And that is what you see today is the Oak Trust Properties. A lot of what I've learned through design and being an artist and being collaborative is where I've got a lot of my values from. So there's a lot of collaboration and critical feedback. So I want to know what I can do better. And that's totally okay. And I'm totally good at that. And I just take the information and move forward and make adjustments. So that is a big part of the way I do business is I'm constantly wanting feedback from everybody. I'm like, how do you like this? What could be better? Do you see any weak spots? Because nothing's ever stagnant. Everything always has to be improving. So yeah, I mean, how can you not fix things and make it better? So my main focus is understanding and supporting individual goals of whatever client or team member I have. The better I understand what they want in their future, the better we can align or find out that maybe we don't align and we can move forward to get what we both need. So a lot of collaboration, just like negotiation.
Nice. I love it. So I always like to hear, I'm a little jealous to hear actually when people say they came from, their family was in the business, they're in real estate. And so you kind of learned as you grew up. So that must have been a good prep work for getting into, property management in 2008 there.
I always feel like it's like osmosis. Like you didn't realize you were learning it because it was just normal and everyday and it was always around you. So I was learning business tactics and business thinking before I knew that's what it was. It's very cool. Yep.
Absolutely. But you didn't actually join your dad's business. You started your own, which is great to hear. So why did you choose to buy a book of business versus starting marketing for clients yourself?
Oh, so it's actually a lot quicker way to get started. So instead of pounding doors and pounding the pavement, somebody had came to my dad and said, "Hey, I'm looking to get out." And my dad said, "Hey, I'm not looking to buy, but actually my daughter is. And since they're seller financed, it's an extremely doable deal." And I already knew that my dad was successful. So I took a look at like under the hood there, and I pretty much mirrored that process. And then I worked DBA as him side by side for a while, and we realized this is way complicated. We have our own seats. It's not like we're, dueling our seats. So why don't we just combine businesses, work together? And that's been really great for us, especially for him since he stepped out about, 10 years ago.
He's like, yes, my daughter's here. She can take the reins.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, so property management it's probably the hardest thing about real estate, in my opinion. I feel like acquisitions is, it can be difficult. Generating leads can be difficult, but the real energy and effort is property management. So from your perspective, I know you guys have a lot of experience here. What is it that people should look for? Sorry, I guess we'll split this conversation into two: one third-party property management and one self-property management.
Ah.
So what is it people should look for when they're hiring a third-party property manager like yourself?
You want to find somebody who does things the way you want to do things, but you also want them to be removing that liability. So you taking a look at that application is not a good idea. That means that now you are at risk. So trust your property manager, especially if they're a member of NARPM, the National Association of Property Managers. That means that they're up to date on their laws. They know what's going on in the industry, and they have lots of people and resources to pull and draw from. So you want to have somebody who is proactive and comes to you with solutions and choices that fit your style. It doesn't mean that you should be telling them what to do. They should say, "Hey, a car just, hit the front of your house. You're missing 6 walls. Your ceiling is collapsing. Here's the possible solutions. Do you mind giving us the contact to your insurance adjuster, and we'll move forward with this?" And that's the way it should go. It shouldn't be like, "Oh my gosh, this just happened. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah.
No, that's a personal assistant. Like that's not an experienced property manager. So you want somebody to know what's happening and to be ahead of the game and be able to predict what the next steps are and have you prepared for them with solutions.
Absolutely. And I actually, from my own experience, I do feel like that is the most important thing when it comes to property management, is being proactive. If you have somebody who, my first property manager that I had a long time ago, he would come to me and ask me what to do for every single little thing. And I was just like, bro, I'm not the property manager here. You are. And it takes away from, especially when you're trying to build a portfolio, you're trying to really aggressively expand, it takes away from your own time and effort that you need in order to do the acquisition. So that's why having a
Absolutely.
really good third-party property manager is so crucial. So I like that you said proactive. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely
They should
important.
they should definitely be removing you from all the day to day.
Yep.
You
Yep.
you shouldn't
Couldn't
have to
agree
do all
more.
that. Yeah.
You also mentioned removing liability, which I think is something that not a lot of people think about when it comes to property management. They always
Yeah.
just think about, having the property manager there to deal with things, but they don't think
Mm.
about the liability aspect. So why don't you take us a little bit more deeper into that, and what does that mean from your perspective?
So the phrase "know just enough to be dangerous" really comes to mind, because you think you know property management, so you think you know how to go qualify a resident, but what you're really doing a lot of times, and these first time people, is they're going to sit down with an interview like they're hiring an employee, and their heart is leading the way instead of the facts and figures of the numbers, like their credit score, their income, rental history, do they have pets, those sort of things. That's critical static information. Well, it's not static, but critical information that you need to make a decision. You don't need to have an emotional connection with this person because it's business. The emotional connection actually gets you in trouble, because then you start waiving late fees. And when you waive late fees, when you go to court with a magistrate, they decide that you've already waived a few and now you set precedents, and your lease really no longer is effective in that way. So
Something I didn't know.
good luck with evictions. Yes. So you want to just sever that emotional relationship. Since we've been doing this for thousands of transactions. We know how to manage a relationship and how to be gracious and extend a helping hand and mediate all the conversations and still be friendly, but also still stick to the facts and move forward. So you really want somebody who can say, okay, we know that you want to know that this application is great, but based on your experience, you've done this how many times? Maybe 12? Well, we've done it, 12,000. So we got you. Our insurance covers this. So if we go to court, we have a lawyer who will back us up. We also have this lease that we follow, and we have all the documentation of every single conversation that's happened through text, phone call, email, everything. So we got this. You don't want to know how many kids they have in the house. You don't need to know where they work. You want to know their credit score, and that's it.
Yep. And documenting conversations is so important. And that's something that I feel like if you're not an experienced property manager, well, I know I didn't, when I wasn't an experienced property manager, I didn't, keep record of everything that was said and done. And as professionals, you guys, you do, and that is super important, especially if it does unfortunately end up in court. So, a lot of people do manage themselves, which I'm a huge fan of third party. I think it takes the onus from the owner, but some people they like the management. And so from their perspective, what is top 1 to 3 things that a new property manager should consider when taking on their first tenant?
When taking on your first tenant, you want to know how you're going to process that application. You want to know what's important to you. Is credit score important to you? Okay, which range are you willing to accept? And you need to know this before you go meet that person and fall in love with them. So you need to write that down and hold yourself to it. You need to find out how much rental verification or how much income verification that you want. Like how much, is it 3 times? Is it 2.5? Is it 2 times? Do you want 6 times? You want to know, is it gross? Is it net? Are you linking to their bank accounts or just taking their word for it? Are you making phone calls? So you want to draw all the constraints and all your check boxes that you want, and you need to hold yourself to it. You also want to build a team. When you get that 12 o'clock phone call that Santa just fell through a ceiling, you need to know who to call. If this house was built in the 70s or earlier, you need to know that you need somebody with lead insurance and is certified for that. You need to know who is going to be willing to take that midnight call and patch up the roof so nobody else comes in and steals the Christmas presents. And if it's raining, you need a tarp. So you need to have reliable people that you have a good relationship and you guys trust each other and have each other. If you don't have that, you can't really be responsive. It's not like owning your own home, because at this point you have a product. If my ice maker breaks at my house, I could care less because I know my time is very valuable and I don't care about ice. But if I was a tenant, I'm paying $2,000 for this house or whatever. And when I pay that $2,000, my ice maker doesn't make work. Now I'm mad. And I'm going to tell you.
Absolutely.
So it's not the same relationship. You have to be ready to move fast. So that means everybody has to be in line. You have to know what to expect from each one of those vendors, and they have to be able to perform for you.
So do you, my mind was just kind of going there when you were speaking, and I was thinking of the different, there's multiple different types of property management. You guys, it sounds like you're heavily involved in single family and probably
Absolutely.
multifamily. Do you guys also do short-term rentals?
We do not do we do like a handful of short-term rentals out of just under 600 properties. I would say 90% of our portfolio is single family homes.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And between short-term and single family, what is the main differences in management there?
I would say pace. Pace is different because the longer somebody's in a property, the first month or 2 is really busy. And then after that, it's just routine. It's usually a lot of collecting of rent, unless there's work orders or unless there's special requests or accommodations or anything like that. A lot of times it's pace. So the shorter time people are in the house, the more urgency there is behind getting things repaired that the customer wants, the resident, the tenant.
Yep, that makes sense. And then one other thing, going back, you mentioned income verification. What is the income that you generally like? Are you guys looking for 2x, 3x? What is the income standard that you use?
So our standard is 3, and you can do gross or net, and that's like a new thing people are doing these days. And we're connecting directly to bank accounts through Plaid with TransUnion and all these other companies. So it's getting very, very clear these days on what's actually there. It's nice.
So wait, you said gross. That's really interesting. Gross or net. So you can connect to somebody's bank account and it will deduct the expenses and the income and to figure out
Yeah.
kind of NOI for the individual.
Yeah, so if it's their bank account, then we see gross or net. I always get those confused. I have to look it up every time. Yeah, or you can get their pay stubs and you can see, gross versus net. So yeah, there's some companies that do it off of net and there's some that do it off of gross and there's some that do 2.5 or 2. But it also depends on where your product is. Is it like $500 a month or is it
Right.
like 3K up?
Huh. That is
Yeah.
really interesting. Things are always changing, always moving. So that's interesting to hear. Awesome. Well, I just took a peek at the clock. We have run through our 15 minutes. So it is time to jump into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. It starts with books or any form of education. I'm a big bookie, so give me 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom, one for real estate specific.
So real estate specific, oh gosh, I usually read business books. So my last
That's
one
fair.
that I read was Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. That's a great
Mhm.
book, very humbling, great with all that. And the other one for life would be Memorable Moments. I know it's also for business, but my dad was going through some terminal illnesses and he's good today.
Good.
But it really helped me design moments thoughtfully and impactfully. And it's helped, I've used it in many other aspects of my life with relationships.
Nice. Memorable moments. I will have to check that one out. And what was the Simon Sinek one again?
Leaders Eat Last.
Leaders Eat Last. All right. All right. That moves us on to the next question. This one is for your younger self. So if you could go to the Janet who, let's say she was 2008, she was just buying her first property, just considering getting into property management, go to her, look her in the eye, give her one piece of advice moving forward.
Don't listen to other people telling you you can't do it or you should sit in a certain seat. If there's something inside of you is saying that's not the right seat for you, it's not the right seat for you. They're trying to shove you in a box you don't fit in. Be brave. Tell them, just shut them out.
Perfect.
Listen to people's advice, but don't sit in that seat.
Yeah. Listen to your internal voice more than other people. I love it. This one that leads us to the next question, and I always lose my spot. There we go. Each of us is gifted with strengths. You are no exception. We all have something that we individually give to this world. So what is your superwoman strength? What are you exceptional at?
Oh man, I'm super positive. I see into the future a long ways. And I just want to try everything. I'm very daring.
Nice. I love it. Daring and positivity. Positivity takes you a long way. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it does.
And the next one is for tools. There are, each business is run on our tools. I know that there are certain like Monday.com I cannot live without. So what is one software tool that is crucial to the operations of your business?
So right now I really love Slack.
Slack. All right.
Yeah, being virtual, a 100% virtual company, like it really keeps us connected. I
Yeah.
love Monday as well. Yes.
Perfect. All right. And that leads us to the next question. This is habits. Habits form the foundation of our life. So point to one thing that you do day in and day out that contribute the most to your overall health, well-being, happiness, and success.
Sticking to a really good routine. Lights out at 10, get up at 5.
Routines definitely solidify it for me too. And that leads us to the very last question. This one is for the listeners. You've given us a lot of good advice about property management. I'm sure there's people out there that want to reach out and say hi. What is the best way for them to do that?
Sure. We're at oaktrustproperties.com. You can find Oak Trust on LinkedIn, and you can also find us on Facebook as well. And we would love to hear from you.
Perfect. Oaktrustproperties.com. I will put that in the show notes. So if y'all want to reach out to Janet and say hi, just click a little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description. In there, you can find the URL to reach out and say hi. So Janet, that wraps it up. Thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This has been great.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the Ebook Bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.